Nucleus is considered to control the activities which take place inside a cell. This control of activities is controlled by the cell as well as the requirement by the cell's nucleus as well as the requirement by the cell. For example, think about a protein which is required by the lysosome for degrading a particular substance which is inside it. Now, the lysosome, the requirement of that particular enzyme will be fulfilled by the nucleus. So, the requirement is in the lysosome, but that requirement will trigger the nucleus to generate the enzyme or the protein which can form the enzyme. Now, as soon as the protein is formed, that protein will be going near the lysosome and will start initiating the formation of the enzyme. And as soon as the enzyme is formed, the activity is performed. So, it is a dual function which is going to take place. As is the requirement of the cell, so is the function of the nucleus. And as is the function of the nucleus, so is the requirement of the cell. So both of them, they work in a coordinated way, the entire cell as well as the nucleus, to fulfill the requirements of the entire cell. Now, there are various functions which are performed by the nucleus depending on the different status of the cell. For example, if there is requirement in the maintenance area or in the growth of the cell, suppose it's a G1 phase which is going to take place, so what will happen? The nuclear content will be dividing. This time the nucleus, it stays quiet, there is no activity going on, just the replication is, like, just the duplication will be taking place slowly during this time. As the cytoplasm divides, the next phase, that is the S phase, takes place. In the S phase, the growth of the nucleus takes place, that is the haploid number of chromosomes which are present inside the cell, they become diploid. Suppose there was just n number, like 23 number of chromosomes were there. Now those 23 number of chromosomes, after the division, they need to become 46. Suppose I'm just talking about the human beings because that is what you all are aware of, so think it in that way. If you think about some other organism, again the division will be as such that just the haploid cells, they become diploid in the S phase. As soon as the S phase is completed, the G2 phase starts. In the G2 phase, this nucleus S, whatever the machinery which is formed, or the nucleus, when it is completely duplicating its nuclear content, during the same time it will start initiating or it will start triggering the response of the proteins which are required or the enzymes which are required for the formation of different cellular machinery for the G2 phase. So all the cellular machinery which are required for the mitosis will be formed in the G2 phase, and it can be initiated only with the help of different proteins and ribosomes which are present inside the nucleus and surrounding the nucleus. So cell maintenance and growth is done with the help of nucleus, and nucleus helps in synthesizing different structural proteins. Next is the cell's metabolism. Nucleus regulates the cell's metabolism by directing the synthesis of functional proteins. Various proteins which form the enzymes, they are formed with the help of the cellular metabolism. Suppose the cell is defected. Now the cell is having a viral attack or a bacterial attack. Now the cell is aware that if it sustains or if it survives, then the bacteria will divide and will increase its number and will infect the nearby cells. So what it will do is it will synthesize the lysozymal enzymes, and those lysozymal enzymes will go and trigger the lysosome in the cell, and the lysosome will digest the entire cell which is infected by the bacterium. So this is the defense mechanism which is helping in protecting the entire body by just destroying one of the cell, and this can be triggered only by the nucleus, and this is known as cell's metabolism. The genetic information is the core of the nucleus. Nucleus has presence of chromosomes within it, and as when the organism is dividing or is undergoing mitosis, during that time the genetic material, that is the chromosomes, they are forwarded from one generation to another if it is mitosis. haploid number of chromosomes, they are forwarded. Similarly, if it is meiosis, again the chromosomes are required, and after fusion the chromosome number, it goes on decreasing. So first division, if you, when we study in details about how the chromosome number is maintained in the germ cells, then we can very well understand that part of meiosis. But right now, we will be studying it in the next chapter, that is cell cycle and cell division. But for now, let us just think about mitosis. In mitosis, one cell is dividing, and while it's dividing, the nucleus is going, half of the nucleus is going with the next cell. Or both the cells, both the daughter cells have half of the nucleus. Half of the nucleus means half of the information. Haploid number of chromosomes are present in both the cells. That is what is known as genetic information, which is to be forwarded during the process of reproduction. The cellular replication is a vital part of the nucleus, or vital role which is played by the nucleus. It means that the nucleus has presence of these chromosomes, and these chromosomes, they are haploid in number when the cell has divided, so they need to duplicate themselves. Duplication means replication, formation of new DNA material. Here I shouldn't say new DNA material, it should be complementary DNA material, and that is known as cells replication, formation of complementary part of the nucleus. If you remember the ATGC pairing, if ATGC, if this is a portion of chromatin which is present, or chromosome which is present inside a cell, now the cell is already divided, now it wants to undergo this process of cellular replication. During that process, it will form another, it will form another thread of complementary pairing, and this can be found very easily because we are aware that A always pairs with T, and there is a double bond in between them. G always pairs with C, and there is a triple bond between them. So wherever C is there, G will be formed, or G will come and get attached. It is a nucleotide, right? And similar attachment of different nucleotides will be taking place according to the parent cell or parent chromosome which is present. This is the parent one. Initially we had this one, and then after we formed this new one, depending on the kind of parental chromosome content we had. This process is known as replication. Ribosome formation is done with the help of nucleus because um, proteins are formed if the ribosomes are present. So ribosomes are the root cause for formation of proteins, and that's why we need the presence of ribosomes for protein formation. That's why nucleus plays a role in even the formation of ribosomes. There is variation seen in the genetic material while while the cells they divide, and that is because of genetic variation which occurs in the cells. And how does the genetic variation occur? Suppose ATGC pairing is there, and suddenly there is a mutation because of which T is changed to G. Now, because of that, the complementary pairing will also be changed, and as a result, the entire chromosome content will be changed. And we can this is a small change initially, which is not going to be much more effective. Initially it is not much more effective. When you study about the protein synthesis, the details of protein synthesis, over there you will understand it. But now just think that just change in one of the nucleotide doesn't make a very big difference, but yes, it creates a little difference. And if it goes on continuing the similar way, once one nucleotide is changed, after 10 years again second nucleotide is changed, third nucleotide is changed after again 10 years. So after 30 years, we can expect that one gene will be changed, or one entire codon will be changed, and because of that there will be change in the behavior of an organism, or change in the nature of formation of any particular enzyme which may be affecting the individual's body as such. And because of the variation, we can expect that evolution is continuously taking place. The one who is much more futile and is powerful will be surviving, whereas the one who is not capable of fighting with the environmental condition or the survival strategies, they will be eradicated from the environment. The last point is the cell differentiation, which means that the nucleus, it brings about specialization in a cell by keeping certain operational genes in various cells. Now, because of this, the cell it is well differentiated and it can perform its functions in a better way. Now, even though the nucleus is controlling the cytoplasmic activities, it cannot exist on itself. Like nucleus, just the presence of nucleus is not sufficient for the survival of the nucleus. It requires the entire cell for its survival, because nucleus, whatever it is forming, it is not way too sufficient for its survival, in the sense it cannot protect itself. So it requires the presence of different other cell organelles as well as the entire cell for its own survival. And that's why the nucleus, although it performs various vital functions for the cell, for the maintenance of a cell, but still it requires the entire cell as a whole for its presence or for its survival.